Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. Pre-market report, of course. People, I'm laughing already. When I start off laughing, you know there's going to be a problem here. Let's start off with this. So, yesterday was quite an experience, at least for me, and I'm sure for you as well, watching how this market responded to, nothing. A flat, according to their numbers, inflation report. Again, what they're doing here is a crime in progress, in my view. They are, again, using the same tactics that you would expect to see in this kind of an environment. That is the deflections, the deceptions, the looks here's, the don't look there's, the continued lies. Apparently, there's no inflation anymore. But I would be willing to bet that, you see things a little bit differently. Look, you and I have been on the same page with this since the very beginning. It's not going to stop. We've also discussed right here on this blog how the lies are going to get louder and taller. Inflation is going to continue to rise, period. It's got nowhere else to go, especially in light of what is happening here. Let me say this too before we move forward. Central banks, none more so than the Federal Reserve, with the US dollar being the world reserve currency, fears one thing above all others. You know what that one thing is? Let's just guess. Think for a moment what central banks fear more than anything else. You got it? Is it coming to you? All right, I'm going to tell you what it is. Deflation. Central banks' job and why they even exist is to create inflation, to create debt, period. That's their one single product. Debt, they issue it to the world, they issue it to nations, citizens, and everybody else. It's their system. They run it, and we unfortunately all have to participate in it. So understanding, and maybe this truth has eluded a lot of you here, it's the fact that central banks fear deflation. In this particular situation here, the Federal Reserve, being that they have the world economy by the throat. Again, why the world economy? The US dollar is the world reserve. And the number one and number two products of the United States here, because of the Federal Reserve, is number one, we get to export inflation to the rest of the world. That's a fact, okay? By the US dollar being the world reserve currency, we could get to export inflation to the world, and the world is sick of it. Number two, because of the current situation, we export propaganda on a scale that is beyond, and freaking beyond here. This is why you're seeing the things that you are seeing, why certain nations are backing away from the dollar, why the BRICS alliances are happening right now. Again, the only people who do not understand these concepts are, I think the American people themselves. But the rest of the world gets it, and they're frankly done. As we also have discussed repeatedly, especially as of late, this entire thing, the Ukraine war, the Israeli war, this is a massive false flag, and it's no coincidence that these events are occurring right here and right now in an environment where liquidity is drying up. And I'm going to keep pushing this point home. The world actually remains in a full-blown liquidity crisis, and it's getting worse every day, not any better. When you have this kind of a situation where, again, debt must be pulled into the now from the future in greater and greater amounts just to sustain where we are. And what they're doing here is finding this reason, that reason, wars, expanding wars, or continuing resolutions for the government, which, did you hear that one? Apparently they're going to avert a government shutdown here in the United States because they came up with another plan, a multi-tiered plan to kick the can down the road yet again. It's unbelievable how we let these so-called representatives get away with what they get away with, but we do. We let it happen. There's no revolt. There's no people standing up in the street. No one's taking a position against this. They just let it go. And of course, this is how they get away with it. And this is how things like Janet Yellen yesterday could come out and get upset about the U.S. debt downgrade. She feels it's totally unjustified because the system is sound, it's liquid. But again, what did she leave out? She left out the fact that the Treasury is bankrupt and just had to be reliquefied. You can't know that. Again, thing hopes that you forgot all about that it went in one ear and out the other. See, that's how they can get away with things too, because people have very, very short attention spans, and they're counting on that. You understand? I think you do. Anyway, so what's happening here? Again, central banks fear deflation more than anything else. You can expect inflation to continue, and you're going to also hear lies. More lies about how it's better, there's no inflation, but you're going to go to the store, you're going to continue to pay more for things, and they're going to be shrinking the packages as well. So shrinkflation, of course. And they're going to tell you that what you're seeing with your own eyes is not real. So just be ready for all this. And I know you get it already, honestly. What they're going to do here, moving towards the end of the year again, is this market is going to be propped up more so. The number one reason why, again, is so the corporate bigwigs can get their year-end bonuses. As you all know, their bonuses are based on year-end stock price. That means the market will rally. The pieces have all been put in place. The Fed's in here buying more debt. Yesterday was just epic. Watching the 10-year yield drop like that, watching the relative strength of the dollar literally fall through the floor, and that put a fire underneath the market, which took off. And this morning, it looks like there may be a little continuation of that. This has been the best 2 weeks for this market in over a year. And again, why is that? Rate suppression, bond yield suppression, a weaker dollar, and these are the exact things that you and I discussed would likely happen from months ago. And here it is. It's in our face. And do you know why? Because they're not done. They're not done. And they're not going to be done. We'll readdress this all in January after the Wall Street CEOs and the management get their big fat bonuses and are taking their round the world trips in their private jets. We'll talk all about that later on there, but you know the mechanism better than anybody else. So going back to the market, futures are higher this morning. The dollar's relatively flat. 10-year yield, same as pretty much as we left off yesterday. It's a nice setup for the market right now. Crude oil is flat. Cryptos are recovering somewhat from yesterday's sell-off. They fell under a lot of pressure yesterday. Still, the upside potential, in my opinion, with regard to cryptocurrencies is huge, and I mean huge, as well as obviously gold and especially silver moving forward. You know what to do. You're on the right track, people. We are diversified. If you've been following this blog, you know to take advantage of these things. Let me tell you what I'm planning on doing today. Okay. All of you know that I've been net long this market for a very long time. I intend to get longer this market today. I'm going to buy more through the end of the year, and then we'll readdress the situation. If they can keep risk at bay, and look at the Herculean effort going on here, okay? No surprise. We've been talking about this, to keep rates suppressed. You have to understand the power here of rate suppression. Rate suppression, just like magic, opens up a doorway for cash to move into the stock market, and it creates that illusion that things are fine. The illusion of the markets, I cannot overstress to you how powerful that is. I've talked about it a million times. The market being higher, or the stock market being propped up, people look at their 401k plans, or people who don't even have a 401k plan or an investment plan. They look at the market, they hear about the Dow going up and up and up, and they believe that the economy is strong. And then they have freaks like Janet Yellen saying the economy is strong, we're completely liquid, blah, blah, blah. But nothing could be further from the truth. You remember Safe and Effective, people dropping dead? Same thing. Here, telling us that the system is strong and it's liquefied. No. It's a bankrupt. It's a bankrupt system, and bankrupt on so many levels here. And I don't want to go on and on about that, but I think you kind of know where I'm going with this. It's an environment like we've never seen. It's an environment of lies of the highest possible order, death, pain, suffering, and all of this. I don't have any nice rainbows to share with you right now. It's going to get worse. It's not getting any better. Unfortunately, this system is being dismantled. You all know that. We've talked about this for years, piece by piece. Central banks are in full control. Central banks have planned this for over 100 years, and they've done everything that they've set out to do. And they're in the end stage now, honestly. Closing the doors on everything, creating slaves to the system, all the stuff you and I have been speaking about for 10 years. It's happening right now, and I'm telling you now, it's going to get worse. So just be in the right spots here. Prepare for what's coming on every single level. And we've covered that too. All right, look, I hope you got something out of this video. Honestly, I think it's been important. I hope you learned something about what the Federal Reserve or central banks fear above all things, and that is deflation. They will not allow it to happen. If they have to print from here until oblivion, which we're pretty much there, they will do that to prevent prices from deflating. They need the system to collapse. They're collapsing the current system. They need more people to suffer on every level, so they become dependent on the current system. Out goes the old system, in comes a new one, and they have everything lined up for it. With that said, people, this guy here again loves you from the heart. I mean it with all I got. Please comment. Please share the video. Those thumbs up, very important. It lets the algorithms pick up the video, so please hit that thumbs up. I will see all of you later, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People freak out when they say daylight time. Whatever, some kind of Eastern time. Or I'll see you at 4:05. And please have your questions ready for me. We're going to get through this, people. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they do. We're going to stay ahead of the curve like we've been for years. They can't stop. We are unstoppable. We are unfreaking stoppable. I'll see you later.